Thank you, Speaker. My question is to the Deputy Premier. Speaker, 5 months ago, I tabled my bill to bring paid sick days to Ontario workers. On March 1st, with the disastrous third wave modelling projections already known, this government voted against it. They said Ontario couldn't afford it, that paid sick days weren't necessary, that it would be a duplication, that it was double dipping. Speaker, we are in some of the darkest, deadliest days of the pandemic, and things keep getting worse for essential workers. Speaker, why did this government stubbornly refuse for months to introduce paid sick days? Why did it ignore urgent pleas from municipalities, healthcare professionals, business and labour advocates, and, as we found out this morning, 83% of Ontarians who all understand that provincial paid sick days are the right thing for Ontario workers?
Question. Government House Leader.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Again, as I've said on numerous occasions, of course, we are bringing forward a very comprehensive plan following the disappointment of Monday's federal budget, which did not enact some of the things that we were expecting with respect to improvements to the federal paid sick program, Mr. Speaker. Of course, this was the initial program, which was a program negotiated by a number of the premiers, which provided pay for many workers, Speaker, needs to be improved, and that's what we are doing. But at the same token, I would ask the member opposite if she could help us. The sick pay benefit that was negotiated in the first place, of course, was contingent on the support of the federal NDP, Mr. Speaker. They thought it was a great program that was put in place, and that's why they supported the federal government. We have been working with the federal government to improve that program. They didn't come through on Monday, Mr. Speaker. That's fine. Premier and this government will move quickly to ensure that those holes that we've identified for a number of months are filled, Mr. Speaker, and that our essential workers are protected like we have been doing since the beginning.
The supplementary question.
Speaker, last summer the Premier did all he could to derail the very federal program that his government later defended as all that workers needed. He said bluntly, and I quote, "I don't support it. We have legislation that protects jobs, that people, if they don't feel safe, they don't have to go to work." Speaker, the Premier fought the federal program until it became a condition for federal restart dollars. He then tried to take credit for it and spent months attacking anyone who pointed out its shortcomings. We understand that he has now had an 11th hour change of heart. Speaker, can he guarantee that Ontario workers will get the paid sick days program that they need to reduce the spread of this virus?
Well, yes, of course, Mr. Speaker. We have been saying throughout the week that how disappointed we were that the federal program, the federal budget, a budget that was delayed by 2 years, Mr. Speaker, and that had some $20 billion of unspent COVID-19 pandemic supports that did not go utilized, Mr. Speaker. We said we were disappointed. We thought there were going to be improvements in that budget. That's why I'm so surprised to see that the federal NDP are going to continue to support that budget, Mr. Speaker, but because of the failure of the federal government to improve it, Mr. Speaker, we are going to move quickly to ensure that our essential workers, whether they're in Brampton, Markham, and across this province, who have worked so hard to keep our economy going, to ensure that the people of the province of Ontario had all of the products that they needed, Mr. Speaker. We're going to work really quickly to ensure that they're protected, Mr. Speaker, despite the fact that the federal government didn't step out the way we thought that they would.